Hi, we're live. Let me see if I can turn on recording now. We are record. There we go. Record on this computer. Huh. Eventually, I'm going to get this down and without.
And then YouTube kicks in.
And then I hear echo. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Giametti. I am the owner of Pravaro Marketing. And I once again have Ryan Perry with Simple Biz Support with me here. Thanks for joining me, Ryan.
Yep, definitely. It's been an adventure in the, first 15 minutes here?
I know, right? I can't get it to stream live on Facebook once again. I don't know if it's security issues. Apparently, a lot of people are having issues with it. Ryan and I are talking about whether it was bandwidth issues. Yeah. I know I'm seeing bandwidth issues here at my house, despite having really good internet normally. I don't know if the rest of you are seeing that as well as you're trying to work from home. How's the internet at your office? I mean, your building's empty.
The building's empty, so I'm good. I'm like hardwired in the Comcast, so yeah, life is good here. Although, what was it, a month ago, the internet just stopped working all of a sudden. Come to find out, somebody cut the main line outside of the building. And somebody's been going around Roner Park, or they were. This is, again, like a month ago at least. Somebody was going around and cutting all the main lines just randomly.
Nice of them.
Yeah, it's good times, good times. I will have to say, I'm not a big fan of Comcast. However, I would say within 2 hours, they had somebody out here who fixed the main line and everything was up and running. So I was impressed with their response time.
Nice. Yeah, it's one of those, like, for what we do and being digital and needing so much internet bandwidth, that they're, at least for us, they're the necessary evil. They're our only option to have anything of decent speed, which is a bummer.
Yeah, I saw in Santa Rosa, there's a road I drive down, and Sonic crew is there. So I don't know if they're putting fiber in or what they're doing, but they're trenching all the way down a main road, laying cable of some sort.
Well, it's probably fiber. I know they've been trying to expand that so that they can get off of, because they're on the AT&T copper wires, DSL.
Yeah.
I definitely would much prefer Sonic, but I can't get it here.
Yeah.
Not the fast stuff. I can't get fiber.
Right.
So, all right. So today is April 9th. Whew.
It is the 9th.
It's like the 400th day of April.
Yep. And give it another 10 years. We'll be out of self-isolation, or what is it? SIPS, self in place. What does SIP stand for?
Shelter in place.
Shelter in place. Thank you.
And I know it's been growing, and I know here in Sonoma County, we are extended to May 3rd at this moment, but there's rumblings that it will be extended till June, which is concerning for a lot of small businesses, I know.
Well, especially with that $10,000 loan now that's being dropped to $1,000 per employee.
Per paycheck employee.
Yeah, okay, per paycheck employee.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to hurt. Not everybody has their employees on payroll. And also, we still don't know when that money is going to roll down for local businesses, when they originally said within 3 days. And here it's been at least a week and a half.
I want to say it's been 10 days on my end, at least.
Yeah.
And I signed up for PPP with RCU, which is a local bank. 2-3 days ago. I forget. Haven't heard a thing. So everybody's in overwhelm. I mean, but I was talking to a CPA the other day, and it's like, when you go from a system that maybe handles 10,000 requests a day for loans and those type of things, and then all of a sudden you get 300 million requests, it's really hard to ramp up. I don't care who you are. That is just going to be difficult to ramp up.
Well, and I was just reading last night an article that several of the states are looking for programmers of a very old, outdated language.
Yeah, cool.
Because most of their unemployment systems are run on this code that hasn't been taught since the 80s.
Yeah.
And so, their systems are breaking down because of the overwhelm, and they don't have enough people that know the coding language to do anything about it. I was like, well, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, there's got to be a YouTube video on there somewhere. Probably. I want to say I remember the code too when I read it. I want to say it was Cobalt or something, because
it was COBOL.
Yeah, because my dad was really big in the computers back in the day. And so I got exposed to a lot very early on where, I mean, when he would bring a computer home, that one you had to put together yourself. And then two, the operating manual was literally a Xeroxed copy because, and then it would have changes where they whited things out and then typed over it. And then they would Xerox it because things were changing so fast in the early days. And it's not like you can just throw it up on a PDF online like you can now. But the documentation, then he goes, still the computer wouldn't work. So he would spend hours just, plugging things in different ways, little dip switches and all kinds of craziness back in the day. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
this whole thing is going to be it's already an interesting roller coaster for small local business owners, and I don't foresee it getting better anytime soon. So one of the things I wanted to cover was some additional tips. I totally get and feel for the businesses that are fearful of if they're even going to be able to survive this, if emergency funds are going to come in time. But in the
Right.
meantime, it's a great opportunity to take a deep breath and look at what you can do to prepare for not only now, how can you in creative ways find ways to continue to service your existing customers and clientele, but in addition, look at how you can be prepared for when this comes to an end, because this will end.
Mm-hmm.
When this comes to an end, how are you positioned to hit the ground running and in a really good position to bring back the business that you were doing before, if not more business than you were doing before?
Right. And I think one of the key things before we get into the technical stuff is just remember mindset. Yes, this is really difficult for many people out there. And yes, there's a lot of concerns. And then just try and realize that you are part of a larger group of people. So, because a lot of times we get stuck in our own head, our own issues, our own problems, our own burn, and then realize you're not alone at this. So this is a great time to reach out to people. People are actually looking for more communication, especially with the shelter in place. So reach out to people who you can just kind of talk to and find ways, because that mental toughness is really going to pay off and allowing you to make better decisions
Mm-hmm.
than if your decision-making process is limited because you're working from a fear-based mindset.
Right. And also talking to people, it'll help you it'll help you feel connected and kind of bring back, like you said, that fear factor. But you can also brainstorm, talk about what's going on in your life, what's new, what's different, talk
Yep.
about business. I've been making the rounds through my list of clients slowly but surely. And I've had one that I was talking to where initially she's like, nope, I'm not going to do anything. I don't feel like it's right. But in the course of the conversation, we kind of joke around, and like I was just throwing ideas out, and it was just like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But these are
Right.
just ideas, things I'm seeing that people are doing. Let me just throw them all out at you. See if anything feels like it's a good choice for you in your business right now. And in the course of the conversation, we came up with one where, everything, she was like, no, 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 none of that feels right. It feels icky. She's a caretaker, but she's not an essential service caretaker, but still a caretaker. And we finally got to one that she's like, oh yeah, that feels good.
Oh,
That
nice.
and so she's able to reach out to people. And, I was like, in the course of the conversation, if you want to throw out, hey, buy a gift certificate for later, then do it. If not, not, but you at least feel better calling your people
Right.
and having that some at least some element of caretaking of your people that you're missing, and that. So think about just reaching out to people. And if you don't have somebody that's business minded, I know a lot of business owners, they're the only ones in their sphere in their life that is a business owner, and people who are employees don't always understand. Then reach out to Ryan or I. Like, I'll hop on the phone call and just brainstorm, okay, what's your business? Here are all the things that I'm seeing. Does any of that resonate? And maybe it'll trigger something in your own brain of like, oh, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's hammer out how to do it. And just, because right now anything goes.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, anything you do is better than doing nothing.
Right. Unless it's Netflix, of course.
Well, You know, you have to have the break.
Time and place.
Time and place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on a happy hour, a Zoom happy hour call yesterday with a bunch of business owners, and they've all watched Tiger King. I'm like, man, I couldn't get past the first episode.
I haven't even stepped into that one yet.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I got Sue on Westworld.
I haven't done that one yet.
Oh, Westworld's so good. We just started. We're third episode in the season 2 or so. And yeah, she doesn't like it because then she can't go to sleep at night because she's like, oh, what about this? What about, because it's really good writing. It's really good writing.
I've been focusing on cleaning out my DVR because I'm such a reader over a watcher of things that like our DVR had gotten to be like 90% full.
I'm impressed you still have a DVR. That's like so 2000.
Well, I know, right? So our goal is, I know we're totally sidetracking off of
totally sidetrack. I mean, come on, TiVo. That is like so old school now, yet it was so cool when it came out.
Yeah. Well, it's the Comcast DVR.
Yeah.
But our goal is to take advantage of this and clean out the backlog of shows that like I want to watch, but I never find the time to watch them.
Yep.
So that I can cancel it and switch to like YouTube.
Oh, there you go. I'm gonna say, if you really want to just wipe it out, a strong magnet will work really well.
Yeah. No, I have to actually return the equipment to Comcast.
Oh, okay.
But so one of the things I want to talk about for small business owners is, and I'm finding this just as a consumer, like there are certain things I'm trying to do is making sure you're getting your information out to your customers and potential customers, because people are bored, they're sitting at home, they're online all the time, and they're looking for information, and they don't necessarily want to call, or they're hesitant to call because they don't want to bombard you, and they might feel like you're overwhelmed. Like I know some critical businesses, like wait times for calling critical places are in excess of 1-2 hours, if not longer.
Mm-hmm.
So people may not feel like they want to intrude and overwhelm you when they're just looking for some basic information. So it's really, really, really important, and I can't stress this enough, to make sure that you have an update on your website and your social media platforms on what you are or are not doing right now. So whether your hours have changed, or you're closed, or you're offering gift certificates, or for restaurants, you're doing delivery and or takeout, what your menu is. Alcohol, yeah. Making sure it's on both your website and your social media. Like I had yesterday,
and Google My Business. Google My Business is really key, because if they're looking for you on their phone, all that information shows up.
The only caveat with Google My Business is posts were paused. Right. And I in the same article I saw today where they're starting to turn it back on. You may or may not be able to add it to your Google My Business because edits are slower to be approved.
Right.
But it is still a good place to put it. Putting your hours on there, whether they're adjusted. But like I had a local restaurant where they were promoting a obviously take-home meal for Easter Sunday. They outlined everything about the meal except for the price. So I go to their website. Could have been done
on purpose.
Well, possibly. So I go to their website. There is zero comment. There's zero information about this special Easter meal on their website. Yeah. So like this is where it's imperative. Like I commend them for even for doing the level that they're doing. But take a moment and make sure that not only is all the information there, is that it is cohesive across the board, that, but making sure that's on your website in case people go for more information. Another one that I've run across is a local gardening place where I get all my veggie starts for the summer. And like it's, at least here in California, it's early April, it's time to start planting. And like there's zero information on their website. There's zero information on Facebook. I finally had to call them. And even there, like, for any of you that garden, and if it's a place that has this is a place that does all organic, they have a lot of options. Like they have a PDF on their website, and their tomato starts are like 3 columns. There's probably 60 options at any, like that they tomatoes? Could of just tomato varietals that they could or could not have. And so normally, like I would go walk around, see what they have available. but there's no information on what's on there. And when I called, like, it would take too long for them to tell me all the starts, the tomato starts they have available right now.
Right.
Like, that's a great thing to put on social media and on your website, is list, these are all the things that are,
Just
take pictures
walk around, little
with a
video chat.
video.
Hey, here
Here's
we
all the
are. This is what I
varietals
got
we have
going on.
ready right now. And so they're telling people to email them to place the order. So I did. I went through my list. I'm like, here's all the things I want whenever you have them available. Like, they just told me to email them, and that was more than 24 hours ago, and I haven't even gotten an acknowledgement. So like, help me help you.
Right.
Is really like, what movie was that? It was Tom Cruise. Help me help you.
Is that Show Me the Money one?
Yeah.
I know what
Dang.
you're talking about. I'd have to Google it.
Gosh darn it.
It's the show me the money.
But help me help you help
Right.
your customers. People want to buy local more than ever right now. They want to support the small businesses and try to help you survive this pandemic until we open back up. Like, so help them spend money with you. Like, here I am on my list. I just redid all my garden boxes. I have way more space now than I've ever had before. My list probably had 15 things on it. Like, here I am, ready to give you money, ready to buy stuff. And you're making it so hard for me to do it.
Right. And it's so that help me help you is really about making it easy then for the consumer to know what their options are and what they can do. And how do you get it? Because the other thing is, nobody wants to look silly. Like, I remember when this all started and they started shutting the restaurants down. I hadn't heard about that on the radio, and I was like, oh, I want to go get a pizza. And so I went to a pizza place, and they were doing curbside only. It was, you had to order on your phone, and then you could walk in and pick up your pizza, and that was it. And I was like, well, I feel kind of stupid now. I didn't know. And so it took me a couple of days, and then it was like my system calmed down, and I was like, oh yeah, I can order a pizza on, but I ended up buying a pizza a couple of days later.
Right.
But there's apprehension because we're kind of conditioned that we don't want to look like idiots. Yeah. And when we're in a time of panic, of uncertainty, that can be kind of in a heightened state. And so making it really simple to understand, this is how our process works. This is what you need to do. This is how we're accommodating for what's going on with COVID-19 right now. It's just going to really just help relax your consumer's mind. And hopefully we all know, when people go on the overwhelm, they stop, they freeze, and they don't make decisions. And in this economy, you want people to move forward and make decisions with you.
And you want to spell it out and make it as easy as possible for them. Like, I'm being persistent in this case, like with my veggie starts, because I've been planning my new vegetable garden all winter. Like, I'm super excited.
And it sounds like you have a relationship already. So there's already some trust and credibility.
Right. Like, this is the place, for this current house, I took a break in my veggie gardening years, but this is my third straight year growing. And I always get my starts from them because I have really good success with it. It's all organic. I like that they have a wide variety. And so I really want to continue to support the place I've been supporting, because they've been really helpful for me getting to where I am now. And trust me, I'm a novice gardener. Like, I am not, I do a lot of research to do better. But like, I really want to support them because I know they're struggling. And because they planted this stuff, some of it they planted before any of this happened. And so, and they were planning the volume, and now it's so up in the air because people are scared. And so there are some people that just aren't going to do anything, and they might miss out on their veggie garden. I know gardening is probably not a good example, because a lot of people actually in our area, at least, are ramping up their gardening. And so there's been a lot of shortage. But
again, if you have choice, right?
Yeah.
And this was like, you're like, hey, I'm going to start a veggie garden right now. And you go to this company that you don't have a relationship with, it's going to be real easy to walk away from them if you're getting frustrated versus the competition, who's actually making it easier and kind of putting your mind at ease so you can move forward to make a decision.
Yeah. And if I didn't already have a relationship with them, I have way more options in this, especially in our community. I have a lot of options for going somewhere else. And the same is for restaurants. A lot of restaurants have shifted how they're doing business to have takeout and delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you making sure that people are finding you, or you're getting in front of not only your existing clientele, but in front of new ones? How are you staying in front of them? And again, if you're making it hard, like the one that I saw, okay, I don't really celebrate Easter. It's more of a family thing, but I was like, well, it might be kind of nice to have something nice for Easter, since I typically do something with my family in Los Angeles. But it's like, I probably won't go any further with that restaurant, because like I couldn't even find the basic of the
Right.
price.
They're making it too hard for you.
Huh?
They're not making it easy for you to make the decision that you want to make.
Right. So the moral of the story of this for businesses, for local businesses, is take a minute. And, I get where the fear causes us to be distracted and not work as hard, but take a look at your website. And even if you can't change your header or your homepage, make it really obvious for a button to a new page that outlines everything that you're doing and not doing, what all the changes are, and keep that new page up to date and promote that on your social media channels, so that people can easily find the information from you without having to call you, and have calling kind of as a last resort, at least for basic information. So the other thing I want to talk about is, I read an article today. Google has announced so when all of this happened, and because since my focus is a lot of local small businesses, and I do a lot with Google My Business and local search engine optimization. And early on, Google paused a bunch of features for Google My Business. If you want to do edits, they were delayed. If you're doing any edits to your listing, Google reviews were paused. You were unable to reply to reviews. That was paused. Posts were paused. Question and answers were paused. So all of these features, which are a big chunk of the features of Google My Business, were paused.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just announced that they're starting to roll out turning reviews back on, and at least review replies. So, because I've told businesses, because now is a great time to ask people for reviews.
Right.
However, if they weren't getting pushed live, because you can, with it being off, like I could go post a review for a business, but it wouldn't be pushed. I would see it on my side in my dashboard for me as a Google user, but it wouldn't be live on that business's Google My Business listing. And Google has not been clear on if people had done those reviews, if they would be pushed live at a later date when they got turned back on. So that's still a gray area. We're unsure, but they are saying they're starting to turn it back on. So my recommendation is ask one person to go to Google and leave you a review, and then go see if you can see it publicly on Google Maps, and see if it's turned on in your area and reviews are getting pushed live again. And if it is pushed live, start asking people for reviews on Google. This is a great opportunity to build that up, because it is a really important feature. And it'll be an even more important feature moving forward, that you'll have a bunch of new, hopefully 4 or 5 star reviews. Because when people are doing local searches for businesses, and that Google Maps 3-pack listing shows up first,
right,
the reviews are a big part of what it's
that social proof.
Yeah, it's social proof. And so we, as humans, we inherently believe what the reviews say of strangers, because we figure like, well, they have no hidden agenda to lie about it for the most part.
Right.
And so it's a way to sway the decision making. If someone's offered up 3 options of a business, or 3 business options for their search, and one has a bunch of 1-star reviews, the second one has no reviews, and the third one has a bunch of 4 and 5-star reviews, who are they going to pick?
Right.
It's kind of a no-brainer. I always jokingly say, when's the last time you picked a 1-star restaurant? Never.
Well, there was that
Not
one time.
willingly,
There was that one time I was driving through Bakersfield.
Right.
Yeah, it was 2 o'clock in the morning.
But when you're faced with options,
Yep.
Unless a friend or a family member personally recommended that 1-star restaurant,
Right.
you're not walking in there. And the same goes for any other business.
Yeah, and I would say two caveats with that. One is when you ask that person to leave a review, give them the link. Don't expect
Yes.
them to go find, because you're already asking for their credibility. They're essentially sharing their credibility with your company. So again, make it as easy as possible. The other thing is, if you find that reviews are going through, do not send out a mass email to 1,000 customers going, hey, you know, the economy's down. I'm trying to get some reviews to build up my visibility online. And a review would be wonderful. If Google, and even if you're thinking about Yelp, if you have a spike in reviews, that is a huge red flag. I know
And
a
they
couple
will flag them.
clients. Yeah, I know a couple of clients specifically on Yelp that got hit with that, and it's caused them personal issues, you know, like years down the road,
Right.
because all their reviews were getting flagged and a lot of them just weren't being seen now.
Right. So I always recommend, if you find the reviews are going live, if they're before I get into that, if they're not going live, so ask one person, friend or family member, really good client, to leave a review. And if you don't see it, then stop, at least for Google. Yelps are still getting posted as far as we know. So then redirect them over to Yelp and have reviews on Yelp if that's appropriate for your business. But Google's really where it's at. It's really the more important location for local businesses.
For that, to get in that 3-pack in the Google Maps
to get in
search.
that 3-pack, because it's visible right there in the search results of Google. And so it's a lot of the times people don't even go past that maps listing. They immediately go to the business or call them. So if you're seeing your reviews are going live again, in any given day, don't ever ask more than 5. So keep that in a handful.
See, we can get that, just in case people don't know, that's what we're talking about, that 3-pack on mobile.
It's on mobile, and it's still a 3-pack on desktop as well when people are doing local searches.
Right.
So keep in mind, you know, it's a handful. So don't ask for more than 5 at a time. And if magically all 5 of those people leave you a review within 24 hours, wait a few days to ask another 5. So just spread it out. Ask a handful of people like every few days, so that you're not getting 15, 20 all in one day.
Yep.
Because that is, like Ryan said, it's a huge red flag to Google and Yelp, and they'll filter them out. And so then it won't be beneficial to you. So it defeats the purpose.
And your account can get flagged. I've had one client, they actually had a group come through and do a review of their business. And the gal who led the group thought it would be nice to let everybody who came through, she asked them, would you mind leaving a review for this business? Well, they all did at one time. And unfortunately, the business got flagged on Yelp, and all reviews, like years later, reviews got flagged and just weren't seen. So don't do it.
Right. And do not leave a review on behalf of somebody else.
No.
Don't ever do that. Don't write it for them. All you can do is just say, hey, if you had a great experience, here's a link. We would really appreciate if you leave us a review, and leave it at that, and let them take the action from their own Google and Yelp accounts to leave the reviews. But again, be very cautious that you don't overdo it and be overzealous. I know that I've heard some people recommending, like, get reviews, do a whole bunch of them, take advantage of this downturn. That's the marketing you should do. And yes, but with caution. And it's always with caution. Keep this in mind. It's not just now. I recommend that you continue doing this forever, is asking customers after they work with you or visit you or buy from you for reviews, but always be cautious about how many you're asking for at a time for the rest of the life of your business.
Okay.
So that covers, those are the top 2 things I really wanted to talk about, was making it really easy for customers to spend money with you right now. And if you're not doing anything, tell people you're not doing anything, but still keep in contact with them on social media, post helpful tips, post education, And then just remind them to be like, hey, we're not doing anything right now. We can't work. Here's a way to support us. If there's any way for them to support it, make it very easy for them to find that information and stay in front of them. And then test your Google My Business, Google Maps reviews. If they're turned back on, slowly and cautiously start asking people to leave you 5-star reviews and help bump that up, so that as everything comes back to normal and you go back to business as usual, you'll have a bumped up increase in reviews, which will help you show up better on search results moving forward.
Sounds good. I like it.
So those are your tasks for, well, today's Thursday. So those are your tasks for the weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
And then by Monday, you should be able to have some obvious way of either, or a plan to implement it, or you'll see some results of that implementation. Hopefully it'll benefit your business right now. And if you have any challenges with any of that, or you want to bounce off some ideas of ways to make adjustments in your business right now, I'm trying really hard not to use the word pivot.
Oh, I was so going to say pivot earlier as intentionally and have fun with it, because so many people are pivoting right now.
Yeah. And it doesn't need to be permanent. It can just, temporary adjustments to your business to make it through this time. It'll come to an end.
Yeah.
And if you're really feeling like you come up on a roadblock and the overwhelm is just too much for you right now and you can't figure it out, hit me up. Yeah, well, I'll hop on a call with you, no problem. And we can just hash it out. See, at a minimum, we'll just chat. How are you doing? Great to meet you. You can have some human interaction with another business owner, and we can talk about your
drink
business
while you're at it if you have to. It's all good.
I mean, we can even do a video call like this, so we can see each other and you feel like you're having some human interaction other than the people you live with. And we can hash out some ideas for making some adjustments in your business to get you through this time.
Sounds good.
Ryan will too.
I will too. Yes. You just got to reach out.
Yeah. So click the link, or I'll put links below, because this is on YouTube. So on YouTube, I'll put links below. I'll probably upload this over to Facebook, but from there you can find my website and find my contact information as well. And I'll link Ryan's info below as well here. So you can find him. I'll send you to his website. And
Wonderful.
again,
I appreciate that.
We're here to help you figure this out and navigate it. That's my goal, is to help small businesses. Well, my normal goal is to help small businesses succeed. So now I really want to help you just, make it through this so that you can succeed.
Right.
Once
you want people to succeed through this.
Yeah, succeed through this so that you can still be the business owner that you want to be when all of this comes to a close.
Right. That way there's more succeeding available later on.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I like more succeeding. Perfect. Well, thank you for joining me, Ryan. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
For those of you that watch this, I hope you found it beneficial. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And if you like my content, feel free to click the subscribe button, which of course I'm pointing in all directions because I have no idea where it is right now.
Over there.
Yeah, over there somewhere. Click subscribe. Would love to have you follow my channel. And it's Thursday afternoon, so I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks, everyone. Bye.